Hey, this is Andy from the Wolfpack at the AT&T fan page, and today we have our review for the Nokia Lumia 1020 from AT&T. We want to thank AT&T for supplying this review device, and you can get your own Nokia Lumia 1020 from AT&T starting July the 26th at a price point of $299.99. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this beast. And when you first pick it up, the first thing you'll notice is it's so much lighter. Well, at least if you own the 920, it's lighter than the 920 at 158 grams. And it's thinner than the 920 at 10.4 millimeters thin, even with the camera on the back here. Up here at the top, we have our 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. The screen is an AMOLED screen with clear black technology. It is 4.5 inches. It comes in at a resolution of 1280 by 768 with 334 pixels per inch. And that clear black technology reduces the glare when you're outside in the sunlight, and that is a feature that I highly prize because I'm outside quite a bit. Especially if you're going to be outside taking pictures, you don't want the glare on the screen to ruin what you're trying to see. So down here at the bottom, we have our capacitive back, home, and search buttons. Over here, down here at the bottom, we have the slot for the wrist strap or lanyard, whichever you want to call it. You can strap that around your wrist. If you're out taking pictures, you accidentally drop it, hey, it's still hanging there from your wrist. You have your micro USB for charging and syncing. We have our speaker and microphones right here. Over here on the side, we have a dedicated camera button. Over here, we have power and our volume up and down rocker right here. And then we have a secondary microphone at the top here, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and our micro SIM tray here at the top. Over here at the bottom, we have two little contact points, and that's for the accessory case that would enable wireless charging with your charging plate. So you slap the case on, it contacts those 2 points to charge your 2000 milliamp hour battery. Put that thing on your charging plate and it would charge your phone. Very nice, very slim fitting those cases are. And then up here at the top, we have our 41 megapixel camera. It is a PureView Zeiss camera. It also has a xenon flash with LED camera light for taking video. The pictures you can take with this thing are spectacular, and I'll show you some of those soon. And as we initiate the camera, you'll see the shutter open. Boom, there we go. Very nice, very nice. And let's take and back out of that for now. Let's take a look at the Windows Phone platform, and this comes with the GDR2 Amber update. As far as features go of the GDR2 Amber update, not a whole lot, but there is one that I like called Glance. Okay, Glance, as you can see, I locked the screen and also still shows the time. You can set this up so that it will go off after a few seconds and use the peak feature, or you can set it up for always on, or you can set it up to where it would shut off after about 15 minutes in activity. Now, so with the peak feature, I wave my hand over the phone, time comes on. It also would give you, if you had it on vibrate or if you had it plugged in, it would indicate that it was charging. You know, this is nothing like the features on the Galaxy S4 with the hover features and things like that, but it is kind of nice. I really like it. And then you can also set up a double tap, which wakes the phone up, and then you can get into your phone from your lock screen. Overall, the apps are coming to the Windows Phone platform. Facebook recently had their app redone. Microsoft is doing this. This is not made by Facebook, but it looks very much like the Android and iOS offerings. And it functions very similar, but it's not quite there yet, but much better than the old one. And you can look down through here and see all the great options. And one of the good apps that came with this phone is called AT&T Locker. And I'll kind of, there you go, you can kind of see there. I don't know what kind of information. I don't want to see my personal information. So what that is cloud storage for all those high resolution pictures that you were going to take. You're kind of worried that maybe the 32 gigabytes of mass storage that are in this thing wasn't going to be able to handle that. Well, you can upload those pictures to the AT&T Locker, which currently when you sign in has 5 gigabytes, but if you upgrade right now, you can get 50 gigabytes for free. That is an awesome deal that Nokia and AT&T are putting on for the Nokia Lumia 1020. And you know, you got to have storage for all these high resolution pictures, because you're talking each picture is going to take 10 to 12 megabytes of space, coming in at 34 megapixels or 38 megapixels. Okay. And you can see some of the apps. One of the best apps made for the Windows Phone 8 platform is probably the Windows Phone Central app. The live tiles update all the time. It's always sending me notifications of new stories that are up there, or notifications that maybe someone's responded to something I've said. It's a spectacular app. Definitely pick up the Windows Phone Central app from the Windows Phone Store. And you can look down through here. We got AT&T Navigator. We got games, mobile TV, AT&T Radio. If we go back over here, you can see that this is a third-party Instagram app. This is a third-party called this is called Instance. This one's called 6 Seconds, and this is a Vine third-party app, and they work spectacularly. When you go into the Instagram app, you can't even tell the difference, really. Okay, so here are some of the apps, and the apps are really coming to the Windows Phone 8 platform. They started really pushing these out end of March, 1st of April. I started noticing a ton of apps coming to the Windows Phone 8 platform, and you'll be very happy with a lot of the apps. Now, I'm not a big game player, so my apps are mainly for functions and everyday tasks and stuff like that. So games, they're coming, but they're nothing like what you'd see on some of the other platforms. So let's take and go back here, and let's go into the camera, because that's what everybody wants to see. The camera takes spectacular pictures. You have a lot of settings here. You can slide this out, and it gives you adjustments that you can go from auto to adjusting it on your own for white balance, focus, ISO, shutter speed, exposure, things like that. And if you don't know how to set these things, the good thing is Nokia has been nice to add a tutorial that works very nice. Experiment with exposure. This is kind of neat. Let's take a look at this thing. And this gives you your control, like you just saw a little bit ago, but it's only the one control for exposure. And look what happens, and you can kind of learn from this on what you can make and do with your pictures that are a little bit different than what you're seeing with your eye. And so if you go back up this way, boom, I made everything bright outside, and I've lightened up everything inside. So very nice. You can learn a lot from these tutorials. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go, and you can see, get creative with shutter speed, low light photography, and then you can work like with focus. Let's take a look at focus. And so then here it focused on the foreground and blurred the background. And then if you go clear over there, there we are. We're focusing the background, and the foreground is blurred. So very nice. It helps you to learn, because some people are going to be afraid to try some of the controls and just going to leave it on auto. You know, probably 10 to 15% of the people are probably going to actually work with these controls. But they're nice. They're there for you. Whoop, there I took a picture. And so let's go ahead and go right into that. Let's slide this back, and we'll go over here to this picture that we took. And I was probably moving. That's not a good picture because I was moving. So let's take and delete that picture and take another one. All right. And so there we go. So now let's take and look at that picture. Go over here. It's much harder on camera to do this, and this is what's called lossless zoom. This is why they're saying take the picture and zoom later, because you can. You can see the fibers of the shirt, and you can reframe this so that this is now the actual picture, and all your controls are right here. Press that, and that has reframed it. And then if you save it, that will save in your pictures. And so then if we go back over here, let's go out of the camera, we can actually go back over here to my photos and go to camera roll and go down here at the bottom. Whoops, there we go. Whoops, nope, I pressed the wrong thing here. Very much harder on camera to do this. There we go. And so there's our framed photo, okay? Now, oh no, I really would like to see the rest of that. You go into Nokia ProCam, and it's really, it's actually, did I go into that? Oh yeah, I saved it over there. So if I had taken the original picture and saved the original picture, then I could have had lossless zoom and then reframed it afterwards, and it still had the both pictures to save. So that was my mistake. But very nice. Let's go into some of the pictures we have here. Let's go up here at the top and look at this one. This is a spectacular. This is a fountain over at our convention center here in McAllen, Texas. And I took this picture from this far away. If you take and go into the Nokia ProCam, you can zoom, and this is what we're talking about, lossless zoom. Look, you can see the bubbles of the fountain here. The detail, ripples on the water in the background there. The vehicles and cars clear down at the other end. Spectacular. So that's what they're calling about lossless zoom. So if you take and pinch, you can see how far away I was when I took the picture to begin with. So very nice. Let's go back over here. Let's go back to the camera. And actually what we can do, let's initiate this camera here. And you can also, there's a lot of settings within the camera itself too, and the way and aspect ratios and things that you can take. And you have framing grids. You have a 16:9 ratio. That's the one I generally pick. That will take actually 2 photos, a 5 megapixel, which allows you to share it on your social channels, and then 34 megapixel, which saves all the whole resolution of the picture. And you can then, that will be uploaded to your AT&T locker. Then you can also select a 4:3 ratio, and that will still take a 5 megapixel for sharing, but it will take a higher megapixel, 38 megapixel photo there. So very nice. You have detect faces is on and things like that you can change there. Generally, I like the 16:9 ratio. I think it looks better when you're posting photos and stuff, and you get more in the photo as well. Then you can go to your videos and change the settings there as well, and you can change the resolution and frame rate, and you have different frame rates that you can, and different resolutions that you can select from, which would save data if you weren't too worried about how defined and stuff, how good your videos look. But even at 720p at 24 frames, it's still going to look okay. People get bent out of shape with some of this stuff, and it's relative. We're talking a 41 megapixel camera on a phone here. So, and then you can change as far as your video. It takes and grabs the sound from the video, and I'm going to put up some pictures and video after I'm done here with the review. And you can change your default audio bass filter here to strong 200 hertz or 100 hertz. 100 hertz is default, and that's what I've left it on here. So okay, so let's take and go out of here, And so, very nice. This thing has taken some spectacular pictures for me. Low light is what Nokia is known for on the 920 and now the 1020. And very nice fluid. The two gigabytes of RAM make this thing run very smooth. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever. You know, if you're looking for a phone to carry around and have the best photography needs right there with you, you can't get any better than the Nokia Lumia 1020 with its 41 megapixel Carl Zeiss camera. So, hey, take a look at this at your nearest AT&T store. Once again, we want to thank AT&T for supplying us this device. And hey, go over to the www.attwp.com and should have my written review for this up in a few days, and I'll throw some other pictures up there as well. Also, look for our channel feeds for Instagram. I've been throwing some pictures that I've been taking with this up on our Instagram page as well. So head on over, and you can get all the different sites from our facebook.com ATT Wolfpack, and join our page, and we'll keep you up to date on everything that's new and all the new accessories. I plan to get some accessories. They have a camera accessory that fits to this as well and makes it into a full-fledged camera body-like style, and adds I think a 1,000 milliamp hour battery to it as well. So hey, take a look at the Nokia Lumia 1020 from AT&T. Thanks for attending my review. Goodbye.